What's up, guys? Airsoft Nomad here, bringing you another Airsoft discussion. This one's going to be about mid-cap magazines versus high-cap magazines, brands, and just all information about magazines. So basically, let's get the normal stuff out of the way. Thank you, JACKAL, for sponsoring me. Their links are down below. Thank you, Hefe Airsoft, for sponsoring me. The link is down below for them as well with a 10% discount code. So thank you for sponsoring me and supporting my channel. Couldn't do it without you guys. So let's just get right into the video. So basically, mid caps versus high caps. I'm assuming if you play Airsoft, you know what a mid cap magazine is. You know what a high cap magazine is. But if you don't, basically a mid cap magazine is a mid cap. Basically, it only holds half the BBs of a high cap, and it is also not a wound. You don't have to wind them. You just use a speed loader with them, fill it up. It is a spring inside there that then pushes the BBs back out. So basically, you get a, not that you don't have to reload.
Consistent feed.
Yeah, a very consistent feed without having to reload until the magazine is empty. If you run a high cap, you scroll the high cap, which then wounds it, and then you get to shoot so many BBs. Let's just say it's 50. I don't know the exact number because that's petty of me to try to figure that out. And then you have to scroll it again, but you do usually get, say, a 300 round capacity with a high cap, where mid cap's typically 120 to, well, they have the EPM ones, which are 250, but typically it's like 120 to 150. So basically, that sums up mid caps versus high caps. My recommendation is always mid caps, unless some guns have mid cap syndrome with certain mid caps, because guns can get finicky, especially once you start upgrading them with the mid cap magazines.
Yeah.
Personally, I run the PTS EPM magazines. That is the older generation. They're 150 count mid caps. There is the new EPM 1, which I know you run, which is a 250 round mid cap that gives you massive mid cap syndrome that likes to eat speed loaders for breakfast, and there's a whole story surrounding that. But also some other mid caps that I will recommend to you guys is the EVIC Banff mid caps. They are very cheap. They run like $10, which is half the cost of an EPM standard, which is $20. The EPM ones are like
43, I think.
Yeah, they're expensive as shit. There's also the QRS mid caps, which also run around $15 to $20, depending on the time of the year where you buy them from.
QRS makes a high cap too.
They do.
Yeah.
They also, and EPM makes a high cap as well. EVIC Banff makes a high cap as well. So they're kind of interchangeable with the brands. Of course, you also have like Vulcan and 6mm Pro Shop. So there's definitely a lot of different brands out there. Any of those name brands I just said are going to work. They are sold at JACKAL Tactical. If you're not local and you don't want to shop at JACKAL Tactical, of course, EVIC and Airsoft Junkies, Airsoft Atlanta, they all sell that stuff.
They do, but I will say this: before you go and buy, say, 6 of any type of mag, buy one and make sure it works in your gun. Because if you buy 6 EPM ones and they're $40-some a piece, and they just don't work in your gun, you're gonna be pretty pissed.
You're gonna be pretty sad.
Some dollars on mags.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can look it up on Google and say, like, whatever, a Crytek. Obviously, Crytek mid caps I forgot about, but Crytek mid caps are great. So if you say get a Crytek gun, typically the Crytek is what you should run into it. EPMs can be ran in it. I think the TRS is feed. And basically, mid cap syndrome is basically like a feeding issue. So like some magazines and some guns just don't work. It's plain simple as that. There's no magic. There's no whatever. They just don't feed. So you need to make sure you're getting the right ones for your replica. If you want to have any questions with that, Google search, call JACKAL, or you can comment down below. I will try to answer every question that I can with that, but there are mid-cap syndrome issues. High caps, all the same exact brand. So basically just comes down to personal choice. Do you want to be able to scroll but have a higher total load amount on your body of BBs, or do you just go mid-cap with a speed loader?
Well, and it also comes down to mid caps are quiet.
They are.
They don't make any noise. We put in your vest. They're loaded, and that's that. If you run high caps and it's fully loaded, you're running through the woods sounding like you're
Which, I mean, if you're carrying a speed loader, you kind of get the
right. It depends on what kind of player you are.
Yeah.
If you're going to be stealthy or not, but
also depends on how many magazines you're going to carry too. I mean, if you're just a starter walk-on player and you don't have a vest and you can only carry in your pockets, you're probably going to want to run high caps. If you got a shellback tactical vest, which with no extra added to it holds 6 mags, then probably mid caps is probably going to be the way you want to go.
And it depends on, like you said, how much you're going to shoot. When I started, I was starting with I played with strictly high caps. I was like, nope, I'll never do mid caps because you got plenty of BBs on you. You're never gonna run out. But I'm running the EPM
until you get up there to shoot at somebody, you realize you didn't scroll it.
Yeah.
Which the same thing can be said for a mid cap, which I know the comments are come up. Well, there's times I go to shoot my gun and my mid cap's empty. Well, there's a sound difference, and you should be able to tell by sound after playing with those mid caps when the magazine is getting low / empty. Like I know just by the way my gun sounds if I need to reload.
And there are a few guns that are proprietary with their magazines.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying.
Yeah, KWA, you gotta run
KWA mags. Yeah. So, and like I know like the MTWs, they have the MTW magazines, but I do know MPMs work in them. So, again, do your research before spending the $20 or $40 for a magazine. You know, if you're running mid caps and you're just doing a walk-on play, I recommend at least 5. I personally carry 10 because I'm toxic.
I carry 6. I carry 6 in my vest, and then I usually have a spare that I start the game with in my pocket, so I have 7. And if it's a real, I'll say toxic day, then I'll carry a high cap as well.
You always got to have that backup.
Yeah, just like, all right, let me pull this out if I have
full auto.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're running high caps for just a standard walk-on day, probably 2 or 3.
You should be fine with that.
Would be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I hope that pretty much sums up magazines. I don't think there's a whole big discussion that needs to happen. Of course, there are like drum mags and you know, if you're running an LMG, you've got a box mag and things like that. But typically, those guns do come with those magazines. Like I know my ARP9, I bought that GG drum mag.
I'll say this: from the experiences that I've had with drum mags, they're even worse than regular mags. You really got to do your research.
I concur.
And see if it fits and works in your gun, because you talk about feeding issues. Yeah, that they are.
This guy right here, just issues for days apparently with all my replicas because I just don't know how to I don't even know. Apparently I just know nothing and I suck at everything that I do apparently.
I'll say I do like the EPM ones. Yeah. That being said, they have a very tight spring and they will chew up. If you buy them, I would recommend loading it and leaving it loaded for the first week or so you have it to loosen that spring up.
And that's even actually like EPMs and like any mid cap that's decent quality has got a tight spring, and that's basically just for that high rate of fire feeding like heavy BBs like .4s or something. So if you're just running a typical rifleman style like .28s, .32s, you don't want to let them sit in there for like a week and just kind of not kill the spring, but just weaken it just slightly. So that you can actually load it. And with speed loaders, I mean, we recommend the Odins. Obviously, we just said Odin. They're $40 for a speed loader. Vulcan has a speed loader. It's $20. It's half the price. I will tell you guys right now, those speed loaders are garbage. They're plastic. You can't open them up. If something bad happens to it, the arms on them fall off. They're just shit. Spend the extra $20 and buy the Odin. And just call it done.
I will say I will not totally knock Vulcan. I like their products. However, the Vulcan speed loader got plastic ears. If you're gonna buy a speed loader like my Odin's broken or my other loader's broken, I'm out of field. They have a Vulcan. It'll get you through the day.
It's a backup.
It'll get you through the day. But is it gonna hold up for a long period of time? No. Invest in the Odin.
Yeah, the Odin M12 speed loader. Just search it. Paul sells them at Jackal, Evike, whatever. All those other places sell them. Yeah, and of course there's the plastic thumb loader.
Yeah,
they don't work so good with mid caps.
They're great with pistols.
Yeah,
they're great with a pistol, but invest it. Get a good speed loader.
Yeah,
get a good speed loader.
So I think that pretty much sums it up. If there are any questions, comment down below. Let me know. I will try to answer all of them. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you did, please leave a like, please subscribe. And thanks for watching. Cut.